Welcome to the Youth POV podcast with Ty Castillo
and Lily Johnson.
Our goal is to help youth know God and make Him known while living in a messy world. Join us as we discuss various topics like walking with Jesus, sharing your faith, trials and temptations, and so much more, all from a youth perspective.
So let's go.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back or welcome to the Youth POV podcast. My name is Ty Castillo, and I'm so glad that you guys are joining in with us today. Shout out to our producer, Lauren.
Hi,
Well, guys, today we have a very, very special episode. If you are a girl, you can click off this right now because this episode is not directed towards you. Those guys, though, that are listening, we have a guys episode today. So with me, I have Mr. Ben. Ben, how's it going?
What's up? Yo, yo, yo. That's what Ty told me to say.
And then we have Noah Collins.
Yo, what's going on, man?
Dude, I'm so glad that you guys were able to come on this podcast. Like, yeah, I was like, who would be good for the guys podcast? And I was like, you know what? You guys were the first people that came to my mind.
Dude,
I was like,
yes.
Noah and Ben. So, well, let's just, Ben, tell them a little bit about yourself, first of all.
Oh, yeah. So, my name is Ben Rekstad. My middle name is Clayton. What do you want me to tell?
No, that's right,
yeah. Let's see. I was born in 2003, July 23rd. This is just useless information. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a youth pastor in Foley at New Life Church. I've been there for just over a year now. Graduated from North Central, and
let's go.
Living life at large, you know.
That's cool.
That's what it's about. So
yeah.
I
gotta visit your youth group a while.
You did.
A few, like, what was it? 3 weeks ago.
It was
right before camp, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Right before camp, you came and worshipped with us. So.
Oh my gosh, dude, it was awesome.
It was.
Ben is an amazing speaker and runs his youth group very well.
Thanks.
Very well.
Appreciate that.
And
kind words.
Noah, tell me about yourself.
Really quick question. Can we call you Clay from here on out? I mean, I like that.
No, you can't. No. That might be reserved for my first child. We'll see. So.
Dang it. Okay. So I'm Noah Collins, graduated from North Central 2 years ago. He said he was born in 2003. I was born in 2002. He's kind of young.
All right.
I have a young adults ministry called Commune, and then going into ministry somewhere in the Twin City. Be on the lookout. So somewhere over there. But yeah, that's me.
Oh yeah. And yeah, it's super cool that even the connection, though, knowing Noah for how it's been. Let's see, it was 2018 or something like that. Was it
2020?
2020. 2020.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And yeah, met Noah in youth group, and he was doing internship, weren't you?
Ben likes to say, Pastor Ben here, he's the youth pastor. He likes to say I was the unofficial intern, and I love that. So,
oh my gosh,
not to be confused with me. I'm not Pastor Ben from.
No, you're Pastor Clay.
Yeah.
Dude, I've had so many confusing things. I've been like, I'd be talking about you or something like that in front of Ben, or Pastor Ben, and be like, yeah, Ben was saying this, and Ben's like, what did I say? And I was like, no, that's not you, not you.
Wrong Ben. Yeah, there's so many Bens in Minnesota. It's kind of crazy. But hey,
yeah, and then
we're awesome.
Ben was one of the people that I went on my mission trip with.
Yeah,
to El Salvador.
To El Sal. Castillo del Rey.
Yeah,
Ty Castillo.
It was very interesting. It was like going there and then being like, man, my name's all over the place.
It is.
Last name.
Yeah, and then you did a bunch of backflips. It was like you were their mascot or something. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I had some people coming up to me. I think I mentioned this on the last episode about people coming up to me and they're like, you're a hero. And I was like, what? You're a hero. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And they're like, you jump. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, man.
Doing the flip.
Hey, you're a popular guy over there in El Sal.
That was one of our other guys. Popular with the ladies.
Yes. Had one of those. That's okay.
Oh my gosh. Well, we always do a Jesus moment of the week. So I might as well go and ask you guys. We'll start with Noah this time. Noah, what is your Jesus moment of the week?
Yeah, that's such a good question, and I was actually not ready for that, despite you telling me to be. Yeah, can you just define that for me really quick?
Yeah, bro. So our Jesus moment of the week is basically something that stuck out to you, or something that God did in your life, maybe, or He's been speaking to you in this past week, or even just past month.
Yeah, that's really good. I think for me, so we just had our youth pastor over at Farmington Bethel's Rock. He's going into a next gen pastor over in Michigan. Great.
Yeah.
We just had our new youth pastor, Eric Grable, move in there.
Yo, what?
Yeah, phenomenal. Yeah, he's the new youth pastor. He started on Wednesday.
What? That's awesome. I did not know that.
It's crazy.
Let's
go. One thing that I'm just seeing like very evident in that church is like just how much God has His hands on it, and how faithful He's been just through the ministry as a whole, and how for me He's been really Pastor Anthony, as he's moving into Michigan here, he's just been kind of praying and talking about how how we go to our calling and everything, and he's just talking about Paul and Acts and everything, and I feel like through all that transition, God's been speaking to me a lot about where to go in this transition season. So it's just been cool to see it actually laid out in the ministry, and then also God talking to me about that through that. So
That's awesome.
Yeah,
dude. What a powerful thing, like just seeing God speaking to you, guiding you in your directions, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. Well, what about you, Ben?
Oh, man, I'm still stuck on the fact that Eric is... That's so cool. I didn't know that. I'm so pumped for him.
Yeah.
Eric, I know Eric from North Central. That's kind of just all that stuff, and that's how I met Collins over here. But, yeah, man, that's what's in my mind. I also did the same thing as Noah, where Ty told us about this probably 3 days ago, and I just, full intention of saying, but honestly, like... God's been doing some really cool things, and I guess the thing that stuck out to me the most recently is just probably the opportunity to hang out with friends and to be with people that, fill me up, like on a relational level, and just being able to talk life and talk about, hey, this is what's going on, and then them pouring into me, just giving words of advice, words of wisdom, things like that, and just being able to slow down. If you didn't know, youth pastors in the summer, I didn't know this. It was my first summer as a youth pastor. Extremely busy.
I've heard about that.
It was crazy. And so just to be able to slow down, I was hanging out with a bunch of buddies in Iowa just this last weekend, and that was such a good time to just be able to rest and relax. And so that's kind of the thing that's speaking out to me is just the importance of a Sabbath. It can be so easily skipped over.
Yeah.
But that's what God has been probably speaking to me the most is just, hey, let's take some time. It's not all go. It definitely is usually all go, but there's importance of like finding that rest, and then finding those people to surround yourself with that give you that rest. So that's good.
That also reminds me of a lot of what Jesus did. Is he wasn't constantly doing ministry, right? He went away to pray. It says in the Bible that he went away for alone time, basically, with Jesus or with God.
Yeah.
And so I think that's definitely powerful and something that we can apply to our lives.
Yeah, which is always so interesting to think about. Jesus, who is God, went to go be alone and pray to God.
It was also him.
It's always so interesting to think about.
Because it makes me wonder, then was he praying to himself?
I mean, technically he would be talking to the Father, would be my understanding, because the only way to the Father is through him.
But at the same time, they're all one.
Right.
So technically he's praying to himself, but he's praying to your Father.
Dude.
The Trinity every time
things we're not supposed to know, okay? Things we're not supposed to know. Not yet. Not yet.
I don't care how good your example is. I don't think I'll ever understand it.
No. You can talk about an egg all you want, but you don't talk about that.
Oh my gosh.
That's how they like kind of describe the Trinity sometimes, is using an egg. You've got the shell, and you've got the egg white
Yeah.
and the yolk. It's all one, but they're all three different.
Yeah.
I saw this one thing, but it's like you can't really use that because technically Jesus is God, but like the shell isn't the yolk.
Yeah.
So
Little heavy revy there. I
It's
like that.
Very, very, yeah. It's just, that's what they've, I don't know, man.
It's-
It's just,
There's
even.
some things that it's just like you got to be like, I just got to stop thinking about this.
Yep.
This is for heaven, not
Yep.
for now.
Yep. God will reveal that to me later.
Oh my gosh, even just thinking about like God sometimes. It's like okay, yeah, I believe in God, right? Obviously, right? And seeing all that he's doing. But sometimes it's like, wait, I'm talking to the God that created wait, hold up.
Mhm.
Wait, he created everything? Wait, hold up. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I just got to stop like thinking too much about that because it's like I'm not going to be able to comprehend an eternal God, but I can comprehend like God is real.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It's
yeah.
it's one of those
No,
things.
it's one of those things that if you think too hard, it'll make your head hurt. So
No, for real. I was
know.
thinking about that the other day. I was like, it's weird. I feel like I can't keep like 15 relationships and like friends and everything. Like I can't keep those at a super close level and then like expand upon that
Yep.
because I want to make those so like intentional. And I'm like, how can I have such an intimate and personal relationship with him? And so does millions of other people. Like it's
Right.
so weird to think about.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Can you
Absolutely.
guys just wait till we get to heaven though? Think of
Oh.
everything.
Dude, it's going to be best.
Like you could probably eat for as long as you want. Like you know that like feeling when you haven't eaten a lot and then you get just a brownie or something really good and you just eat it, Chipotle, and you just eat it and that first bite is just so good. Imagine having that like over and over and over again.
So I'm going to Chipotle after this.
Yeah, I was about to say. I've had Chipotle 4 times this week. It's Thursday, and I probably have a good time now. So
It's Thursday, by the way.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait to have
Dude, it's going to be good.
infinite amount of those bites.
Walk on gold streets.
Okay, what's your favorite like food? Like just like food.
the 50% Hispanic's gonna come out in me here. I love a good taco and a good burrito.
Yeah.
Okay, that is by far my favorite. It doesn't. I don't care what you put inside that tortilla. As long as there's like some kind of meat, I'm gonna eat it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So you like tortillas.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Ty, you go, because I am still thinking.
Oh man. I love spaghetti meatballs.
Oh.
I
That's
love.
pretty good.
I don't think I've ever not liked it.
Yeah.
That's probably my top for me.
That's so good. You answered that so quick, and now I gotta think. I'd probably go the route to sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
I love
okay.
a good sandwich.
You gotta be more
know?
specific, man.
BLTs.
Mm.
That's probably
Oh yeah.
just a good BLT. You got some big slabs of bacon on there,
Yeah.
some lettuce, juicy tomato, put a little ranch on there. Toast that. You guys know what Texas toast is?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Oh,
yeah.
toast the Texas toast.
Oh my gosh.
I have one critique here. I have to. What kind of bacon do you like though on it? This matters.
Thick
Okay.
cut.
Yeah.
Thick cut.
But are we talking like a good like a good crisp, or are we talking something more like?
Oh man, here's the thing. Is I for my whole life have said crispy bacon is the way to go.
Yeah.
Just recently we had a men's, not really a men's event. Men were, cooking bacon at the church, and there's a guy from Texas who's there, and he said, "You're making bacon all wrong. It can't be crispy." I said, You're not smart. I'm making it crispy because that's the best way to go. He's like, just try it. One pan, try it. I did that, man, just before the crisp, when it's like a little bit floppy, it's so much better. This guy changed my life. He, changed my view on bacon forever. And so crispy bacon is great, but that is how I'll be making bacon.
I think that's the correct way. I think I've had one thing of crispy bacon, and I hated bacon for 8 years.
Really?
And
Yeah.
then someone gave me another piece, and it turned out to be Canadian bacon. So I hated bacon again for another 5 years.
Okay.
And then I was brought to this new revelation of bendy bacon. You
Yes.
know? And that stuff is phenomenal.
Yes. I don't know how somebody could call Canadian bacon bacon. 'Cause
Yes,
it's not.
not bacon.
I was robbed of years of real bacon because of
That's
that.
tough. I'm
I-
sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't care what bacon is. I'll eat it.
Same. And that's the thing is, like, I'm not really picky about it. Bacon tastes good. But the crispy bacon, I used to say, when it melted in your mouth, that was pretty
Yeah,
good. Not
yeah.
burnt, but like
Just enough. Just enough.
Just enough to
Right.
melt, where that fat just melts. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I
What
also okay. I also this is very American to me. Like this shows that I'm American. I love burgers. I just love a good juicy burger.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Right. Like, okay, this is another like preference thing. What cheese on your burger? If you had like
I
a
like-
choice between everything,
I like a pepper jack.
pepper jack.
No,
Pepper jack.
I know what you mean, Jelly Bean.
Yep.
That was
Yes.
one of my
What?
favorite. That was one of my favorite things. Is when I like put one of those things on it, changed my life.
Yep. I
yeah.
love pepper jack. I always choose it.
Okay. Do you guys know where the best burger is in the city's area?
Wait, don't say.
I won't.
Um.
I know where my favorite is, but I'm guessing I want
Wait.
to know
Okay.
yours.
Hold up. No. I know. It's not Juicy Lucy. Is it?
It is a Juicy Lucy place where my favorite is.
Yep.
But it's not called Juicy Lucy.
So I can't name the place, but there's a place in downtown Minneapolis. I could walk there from my dorm in college. I would go there. I'd have a Juicy Lucy, and my day would be okay. You know, I'd have finals the next day and everything, and that just made my day feel a little better. That was, to me, the best burger place in the state.
You can't name it because you don't know the name?
You know,
He doesn't remember.
I don't remember the name.
Okay.
It's been years. It's
Sure.
probably been like 3 years since I've been there,
What?
but it was
So
great.
how could it be the best burger in the state if it's been 3 years?
You know, you cherish the moments you have with it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
Dude, the Nook. The Nook in St. Paul. That's where it's.
The Nook.
It's called the Nook.
The Nook.
You
Okay,
know,
wait.
it's
one
right-
sec. I gotta write this down, guys.
Yeah, write this down.
This is like
the Nook.
If you guys are taking notes, the Nook.
The
Is it
Nook.
N-O-O-K?
Nook. Lauren's laughing, but this is what, it's a men's episode, all right? We're talking about burgers, and talk about bacon.
This is what us guys like to talk about.
It's called the Nook, and Joe Mauer, if you know who Joe Mauer
Yes.
is, played baseball right across the street at Cretin Durham Hall. So they've got a burger there named the Joe Mauer Burger,
Really?
and that is my favorite burger.
That's
You know, I'm looking at pictures right now, and my mouth actually did just water.
Yes, yeah. Don't look
wait,
at
I
pictures.
wanna
You
see.
don't
Oh,
know,
man.
dude. You don't want to see pictures, Ty. I promise you.
gotta close
okay,
that.
guys.
Yeah.
Now I need to look this up.
Yeah,
The-
it's good.
The Nook.
And they have bowling downstairs.
Burgers.
It's like $2 to bowl.
The
You have to
Nook
keep your own score, but it's like
Holy
$2.
crap! Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
Wow.
I have a new bucket list item.
Oh.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh my gosh, I'm going down there sometime to get that.
Yeah, you have to.
What? Yeah, that's.
That place changed my life.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm glad I could help you there.
Is that a bowling alley too that's there?
Yeah, there's downstairs, and so they've got an upstairs, which is just like your typical dive bar where you got, restaurant food and then all that stuff, and then you can go downstairs and there's a bowling alley, but there's also a separate place where you can eat like right alongside the bowling alley. And in this place, they've got like dollar bills, just straight dollar bills that have people's names and stuff and whatnot, just taped on the ceilings and walls, just covered in dollar bills, probably like layers thick of dollar bills. So interesting, but yeah, you'll have to go
people
there.
from taking them?
Culture, man. When you have a strong culture of, not stealing a dollar bill off of. Also, there's usually about 10 to 15 people down there watching you take this dollar bill off the wall.
You don't have to get
Yeah.
it did look too good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's reasonable.
And it's like, some of them are like drawings, or people have painted, not painted, but like they took a marker and they just drew this elaborate picture. It's like, who's going to steal that off of a wall?
Okay.
That's pretty sweet.
Okay. Yeah.
It'd stink if you did steal it off the wall, but
Yeah,
hey,
I don't think that would be the best thing.
no, it wouldn't.
But
It wouldn't. I don't think you'd be able to use it.
Probably not.
Vending machine would. Well, maybe a vending machine could be tricked.
Do you wonder?
Do you guys think? Okay, here's a question. Do you think that a vending machine, if you were to paint over a dollar bill, do you think a vending machine would know, right, that it's a dollar bill?
I
How do
feel like
vending
if it
machines
changes
know?
the thickness.
You have a YouTube channel, right? I think you might need to try this one out in one of your videos. That's a great question, though.
Ty Castillo scamming vending machines.
Dude, not post on that at all. I haven't posted on that in like 3 months.
What?
I don't even check it.
Be a crazy, you get a good thumbnail too. Like, I stole, or not stole, but I scammed this vending machine. Yeah, I would feel bad.
I might try that.
Dude, go for it. Let me know.
I mean, okay, I feel like it'd be better if you put a mark over it, because I feel like a painting over it would change its density, or like
Yeah,
I feel like it'd make it hard or whatever.
absolutely.
But if you put like a crayon or
But
something.
how do vending machines work? Do they scan the dollar bill,
or do they just take
does
it?
it just weigh it? I don't know. Because like quarters are like coins. When you put coins in a vending machine, how in the world does it know what coin it is?
It's got to scan it because
Well, coins are easier because they're like just the size of it, right?
Okay,
and
but
the
sure.
weight.
What if I have a coin that's the same size as of a quarter, but it's not a quarter?
I don't know how to answer that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't
it
either.
spits it out, though. It definitely spits it out.
It can read dollar coins, though, can it?
I have no idea.
I think that depends on the vending machine.
Yeah.
Because some of them say like 25 cents, 5 cents, or 10 cents, 5 cents, and then
Half dollar?
pennies.
Can they read half dollars? I don't think a half dollar would fit.
Wait, what are half dollars?
Those big ones.
Yeah.
The ones that are like this big.
Why? Why did we ever make those as a country?
I don't know.
Yeah, what's the point of that?
What were we doing?
Why did we ever make quarter dollars?
I don't know. Pennies. Did you hear that
Exactly.
pennies are no longer a thing?
Yeah.
They stopped making them.
Yeah, they stopped making them.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you're joking, actually?
No, because
Yeah.
it costs 7 cents to make a penny. Yep.
What?
So every time they made a penny, they lost 6 cents. Right? I think that's what
Yeah,
it is.
America's like least used and most hated currency costs the most to make.
Look, I've seen penny floors in restaurants or like homes. Those are pretty cool. All
They
right.
are.
The epoxy penny floors.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
So
mean,
that means you think that pennies are going to go up in value?
Maybe in like 200 years, I think. I think there's just so
I-
much of them out there.
no, I don't even think they would.
Make sure you save your pennies, because you never know in the future.
I could be wrong, but I feel like they're not going to go maybe a cent. They might be worth 2 cents.
Yeah.
You might have it's like Canada, loonies and toonies. You ever heard of loonies and toonies?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah. I'm not.
Lorenda's just saying,
Lauren's
guys,
like, what's that?
what are you guys?
She's
guys
Gen Up, but she wouldn't understand.
2010er.
Sorry, Lorenda.
Do you know what Looney Tunes is? I was
You know
about
what?
to say.
But
There's
do you
no
know?
way.
Do you know what the Canadian current like loonies and toonies are like $1 and $2 coins?
Yeah.
That's what their currency is loonies and toonies.
That's why we don't go there.
Yeah. Well, I like Canada, but that's just me.
I feel like we are like almost another extension of Canada and Minnesota. But,
yeah. No. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're just owned by America.
Yeah.
We're Canada, just owned by America.
Sure. If you sure. I feel like we like the same things: hockey, snow,
Yeah.
Syrup.
Syrup.
Syrup. We kind of talk a little bit the same.
Syrup or syrup?
I think I made it very
Syrup.
clear. Syrup.
Thank you,
Syrup.
Lauren.
I call it
Thank
syrup.
you, Lauren.
I
Syrup.
call it syrup.
Syrup?
Syrup.
Where's the double E in syrup?
No, it's a Y.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Syrup.
Syrup.
Oh. Interesting.
That's a new one. Syrup.
Syrup?
Syrup. Who's gonna
Nah.
start calling it syrup?
Nobody. That's not catching on. That's not catching on. Oh, I've had this Chicken Joe quote up for a while now.
All right, say it.
Nah, not the time.
Not the time. We got to get to the right
right
point.
It says, I'm Chicken Joe. Joseph. It's long for Joe. Yeah,
My favorite
it's
thing,
good.
you guys can't see that, but he looked really sad when he wasn't going to say it, then got really excited, and I knew he was about to say it regardless of what was happening right now. I love it.
He's like, I don't even care if it's in the right
He like
context.
leaned
Chicken
forward.
Joe. Chicken Joe, man. He's a national treasure. Man.
I hope that our listeners understand.
If you don't, look up 2007's movie hit Surf's Up. Okay.
Yes.
Surf's Up.
It's a staple. You should watch it.
It is a staple.
Yep.
You definitely should. So,
You haven't lived till you've seen it. So.
I mean, you have lived, but you just haven't lived well.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you haven't really.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, anyways.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so besides our talking about food and stuff like that, that was amazing. That was just everything I hoped for. But we also want to talk just a little bit about some common things for guys in this episode, because we're like, okay, yeah, we're guys, right? We love talking, but what about talking about some things that us guys don't like to talk about, or things that we kind of like struggle with? So I'm kind of just going over few things. Like, what has probably been the biggest struggle for you guys, right? As a guy, like, what has been just one of the hardest struggles?
Oh, man. That is a deep cut.
Went from talking about...
Well, dude, how much time do we got?
We're all right. Yeah, we got time.
Oh, man. You could go into a lot of things. I feel like guys... And everybody struggles, but I feel like guys today, there's a lot of struggles of like, we're talking through pride and community today, but as a guy myself, it's like sometimes it can be tough in that community aspect of finding people that you can trust to actually be yourself around and be like just available, like emotionally available and just transparent about everything, because it's really easy. I don't know for you guys, but for me, just like emotions. What are those?
Right.
I don't have those.
Yeah.
I think about Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. The officer. Real men don't cry. Get back in there, dear. And you're like,
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Okay.
No,
That's great.
I speak in movie quotes, so just
those of you who
beware.
don't understand, just do some research.
Yeah. You'll figure it out. But, yeah, so that's, for me, that's probably a big one of like
Being open to stuff.
Just being open, finding people to be open with is really what it is. Because you realistically, you could be open with anybody, but finding the right people to be open with is probably the big one. So
Right.
Yeah, I think for me too. I hate to say the same thing, but it was, for me, I feel like I had a lot of surface level friends for the longest time, and I think that's great. I think you need a lot of those, but it was more for me, how can I grow an intimacy with a group of people, and from there be able to have iron sharpen iron, right? Where can I have a space to where I can talk about things that I'm sort of struggling with, and then really, I guess, from that, be able to have a space where I can grow.
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, I mean, that basically ties into, I think, like community, having community, and that's one of the hardest. I think it's really hard for us guys to find a good community of believers to grow with. But like why would community, like, why is it important to have those people in your life that are helpful and are Christian? I guess other Christians in your life that you can be intimate and be able to talk to them about things. Like, why is that important?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question, and that's something that, that could also take a long time to answer, but it's important for a lot of reasons. God didn't make us to go through life alone. He didn't make us to just kind of be our own, entity and just kind of doing it just by ourselves. God made us for relationship. Our church has a motto. It says life is relationships and the rest is just details. And so we especially in youth group, and then also our lead pastor's vision is pretty much the same too, of just we're looking at relationships, right? And relationship with others, relationship with Jesus. It doesn't really matter what we talk about, like relationships and correct relationships, biblical relationships, and like just how to do those well and how to be in community well, because God created us for relationship. God created us to be with one another, and so if you're kind of doing it alone, it can be scary. It can be lonely. It can be a lot of things of like, man, there's reasons why we surround ourselves with people, and you get asked. I think I've heard this I don't know how many times. Maybe it was something bigger when I was growing up. It could be big now too, but it's like, show me your 5 closest friends and I'll show you your future.
Yep.
Of like, it's important. It's important of who you surround yourself with, because who you surround yourself with is what you would like to see in yourself. And so that's also an importance there of like, they build you up. They help you get through some of the toughest times that you would go through, just as a person. So yeah, it's probably, I'll let Noah answer.
No,
I don't take everything.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of you guys know who Kimmy Mullis is, right?
Yeah.
I think Kimmy has a really good testimony about why, people need people. And I can't tell that story because I would butcher it, but she does a really good job kind of talking about that too. But yeah, I think you look at John the Baptist, right? I mean, his whole first chapter is about community and how you need it. I think it's really, really hard to just grow in your journey with God without having others be there. I mean, you look at Jesus, right? He had 12 disciples that lived with him day in and day out. And not to say Jesus couldn't do it without them, right? But the Bible would be very different without those 12 people living life with him. Yeah. So I see that in the picture of our lives, right? I'm sure Ben has many testimonies about how people in the community alongside of him have helped him grow into who he is today. I know I have, and I'm sure you do too. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jesus being our example, right? That's you think about that. Yeah, he could have done life alone, but as our example, he exampled relationship with others, and how to pour into them, and how to have them also be lifting you up and just supporting you along the way. And just the importance of that is, we look at that example and it's like, yeah, he's our example. That's what we as Christians should do as well. So yeah, that's really good. That's really good.
Dude. And personally for you guys, right, getting community and finding community, was it hard for you guys to find a community of believers or even just like close friends, right? Was it hard to find close friends or people that were going to build you up or help you be a better Christian?
Yeah. I think I was very fortunate in the sense I went to North Central University, where you're surrounded by those people day in and day out. You're living life with them. I think for me, it wasn't so hard. But before North Central University, it was very tough. Having that, trying to find a community where it's not existing around you is pretty tough. So I think yes and no. I think I was kind of forced into a community where that was the culture. So once I was in that, it was pretty easy.
Yeah, and I guess I would say it's easy to find people you can be close friends with. It's hard to make that friendship. It takes a lot of intentionality. It takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of you figuring out, okay, it's not just about me. It's about those that are also around me. I can't be selfish in all of these situations. And so it's like being intentional with those people is something that I've found to be, that's the reason why I've got the closest friends that I've got. Like the people that are close to me is because not only was I intentional with them, but they've been intentional with me. And so that's where you find, those people. And it can be, I would say it could be pretty tough. For me specifically, I guess I've only got a few of those. You could count on one hand, basically, the people that I would say, man, I trust those guys with my life. And luckily enough, I found a good portion of them when I was at high school, in Little Falls. I got to find, a few people that I knew that I'd spend a lot of time with. And luckily enough, I graduated with a bunch of them at North Central, got to go to, college with them, and now we're youth pastors in Minnesota together. It's kind of just like God orchestrates some really cool things to happen, right? And that's my story, right? That's not everybody's story. And so I think it can be tough when you're looking at somebody else's story saying, man, I wish I had that. Man, I wish that was my story. Man, I wish that was my, experience of finding that community, finding those friends, finding those people. Because when you start to compare, then that leads into a big trap of, that's not my life. I can't find whatever. But in reality, it's like God's got something special for you. God's got something special for you to find that community. And you got to lean into that and into what God's plan is, not just what you would like to see, what you've seen happen in other people's lives.
Yeah.
I think it can be hard when we're not in the mindset of I'm looking and I'm intentional with people. But other than that, I mean, when you're looking for those people and then when you're intentional with those people, I feel like it's pretty, I guess, outside looking in, easier said than done. It's easy to say that, but yeah, that would be my, I guess, formula for finding community.
No, that's good. I think I'm gonna ask another question off this. So, I think for me, when I hear intentionality, right, where I see that I went wrong throughout college of like community is, I had spent 2 years with people, but never. I guess I look at like almost the a story of like people digging holes, right? And as you're digging these holes with these people, you get further and further down, and you spend more and more time with them. And digging the hole can kind of.
Is this just the plot of Holes?
I was gonna get into Holes actually, but that's a brotherhood right there at the end of Holes.
It is.
And I see that with my own life of when the hole got a little too hard, when it was hot out there, a lot of times I would just get up, leave, go get some water, but I guess for you, Ben, what does intentionality look like? Because in the story of Holes, that's what I see.
Yeah, no, dude, honestly, I guess I've never thought about intentionality alongside the famous movie from, I'm going to guess, 2000 and...
It was like 1 or something.
I don't know.
It's an older guy, yeah.
Actually, no, it is 2009 because it's the same year that I was born.
It is not 2009.
That's impressive,
sure.
dude, if you get that.
I'm pretty sure.
Let me look it up real quick.
If I'm like almost 90% sure I'm right. If I'm not right, then...
Okay, 2003.
Oh,
I was wrong. I must be thinking of a different movie. But
the 2003 hit Holes. I've never thought about intentionality that way, but I really like that. I would say that it's pretty similar to that of like, you got to be intentional with the time that you spend with people, meaning, hey, I'm not always going to be the one that, just waits for you to ask me to hang out or waits for you to text. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to take time out of my day and I'm going to reach out, see what you're doing, see what you're up to. It's not just about asking to get something out of you, but more so about asking to hear how you actually are. And that comes from like a heart of loving people, a heart of caring for people, more than just what they can do in your life. Heart of caring for those around you, and just that's kind of when I think of intentionality, I think of that of like, got to get out of my own. This is what I'm doing. I want this to happen. The blah blah blah. This and this, but more so, what is this guy going through? How can I be of service to this person? It's that serving mindset, right? That Jesus examples so well of just being intentional about, okay, I'm going to take time and spend it with you. I'm going to take time and say, all right, what do you want to do? How can I help you? It's not all about me, but it's about you. What are you doing, right? That Holes, I mean, when you're digging a hole together, that's you can get real deep and then it's like you can get in a nasty fight or something and then you're just stuck there together. And even through that, you got to persevere through, some tough battles. And that, like, not saying that you'll find community and then, once you find community, everybody's just sunshine and rainbows all the time, because that's definitely not happened.
No.
Right.
You're going to go through hardship. You're going to go through trials with friends and with community. But as you go through those, you find that once you get over that, once you kind of work through the struggles, you're able to dig that hole a little deeper. Right, Noah?
100%.
So, yeah, it's real cool. It's a bonding thing that it takes time. And when you're intentional, when you're saying like, okay, I'm going to spend time. I'm going to take my time out of my day to pour into this person. That's being intentional with them, right? And then it's also finding, okay, this person's taking time out of their day and recognizing, okay, they're they're doing this for me. This isn't for their own good. This isn't for their, what they want in life. It doesn't help them in any way other than the fact that they're serving somebody else outside of themselves. So just finding people that you do that with and that do that with you. I think that's always been, my formula, I guess, for community.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, this conversation is great, but we'll get right back to it after the break.
Stepping aside from the episode really quick, I wanted to share with you guys some things that we are connected with as the Youth POV podcast. In Matthew chapter 18, verse 20, Jesus says, "For 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am with them." And throughout the Bible, it talks about the importance of community. So if you're not sure who this Jesus guy is, or if you don't have a Christian community, Maranatha Assemblies of God in Forest Lake is a great church to get plugged into, with Bible studies, leadership teams, and so much more for all different age groups. For more information, you can go to realchurch.org. Now, back to the episode.
All right, guys. Well, we were just talking about before. Ben, you can stop holding your breath now.
Okay, sounds good.
We're supposed to hold our breath before we go into this.
Or else Lorenda gets mad at us.
Lorenda will scold us. But basically, before we were talking about community, we were talking about the importance of community, and even just finding those friends that you can be close to, you can be intimate with, and ones who are going to be helpful on your walk with God, and kind of a mindset too, like intentionality is what we were talking about. Being intentional with our relationships and making sure it's a both-way relationship and not just a one-way. And I love what you were saying, Ben, about making sure that it's not always about you. Because I think that a lot of times when one thing that our pastor said, he said, from the moment that you were born, it became all about you, right? I want this. I want you guys to listen to me, talk to me, right? Instead of thinking, Ben, how are you doing? Or Noah, how are you doing? Right? Having that mindset of, man, how can I help you? Or how can I help you grow? And so I love that. I love that you mentioned that. I think that's really a great thing to have in mind when we're building relationships or in a community. But I had another question. This kind of goes to a different type of community, and I wanted to ask you guys: did you guys ever have a bad community of friends? Right, people who were not leading you closer to Christ, and how did that affect you? So, table's open.
Oh man. Yeah, it's hard to define bad community. Trying to think here. So, I think freshman year, I think I had a lot of friend groups who were very much like, let's have fun all the time, all the time, and that's really not what I needed, despite me wanting that. So I think I'm defining bad here as in it didn't benefit me in any way, or I didn't benefit them in any way. So I think for me, I had that group, and it felt like it was draining me a lot. But I felt like because it was maybe the only community I thought that I had in the moment, that was the community I belonged to, and that's the community I kept needing to pour into. How it affected me is obviously just draining. I felt like it actually wasn't iron sharpening iron. It actually was dulling me. It was taking away a lot of time from God. It wasn't centered in the relationship of God at all. Not that any of those people were bad or that the community itself was bad. It's just I don't think the intentionality was there on really any end. So I guess that's what I would say. It was just about kind of what Ben was saying of the intentionality and having Christ still be the center no matter what you're doing. And I think at that time I just didn't quite understand that that's what needed to be.
Yeah, that's good. I can think immediately of a time when I was in a community that probably was not the greatest. And that was, for me, it was in high school. I was on our high school hockey team. And it can just, there's a stigmatism around that of like, okay, this is what hockey players are like and all that stuff. But yeah, I was a part of, a team. And our team was a true brotherhood, I would say. There's people on that team that would, they would go out and just sacrifice everything they've got for the other people on the team, which is a great thing. And that's a, oh man, I just hit the mic. Sorry, Lorenda.
That was the one rule, man.
Shoot.
You're good.
Dang
You're
it.
good.
Sorry, guys. And sorry, WHAC Radio, 88.1 East and Southeast Metro, if you're ever interested. Anyways, for me, that was that community of just being on a team, being on a hockey team, right? It was, I would say it both grew me and it both showed me what poor community was like. Even though some of the guys we would probably sacrifice a lot for another person, it just, you get influenced by the people you're around, right? I just talked about that earlier, like your 5 closest friends, I'll show you your future, all that stuff. And even in that, like, there's 26 guys just between varsity and JV in high school, and just hanging out when those are the people you're with, it's basically night in, night out, like every single day. You're on a bus together for hours, you're hanging out with each other, you're always at practice, like all of this stuff at school, those are the people you talk to. And so like all the way throughout the winter when it's that hockey season, I guess I noticed in myself that I'd become kind of a worse friend, somebody that, probably wouldn't have said the nicest things to people, or would go around and just think that I'm all that. It's like, oh yeah, I'm on the hockey team. Like, oh, I'm so cool, which obviously isn't the case. But it's just that community, and like I said, they're not bad people. I wouldn't say that they're bad people or anything like that. But it's just having that community of, man, they didn't really influence me in the right ways, and also being young in my faith, not really. I'd just become a believer maybe a year or two into high school, something like that. I just started, going to church and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And just that influenced me so poorly, and I just decided, okay, I'm gonna, skip church and go and do my own thing, or I got hockey practice, I gotta get my rest for hockey. It's like, no, not really. I sat bench all the time, so it was great. But anyways, it's just
sometimes bench is hard. It's a hard.
Dude, it is.
It is.
You're always trying to.
You're warming up
lift.
the bench,
right?
Like,
yeah, and chirp the other team, and you gotta think of funny things to say. Anyways.
Yeah. Besides that.
But it's just so that community kind of, I could see how that influenced, and I can see your question on the sheet of like, it affected me in a way where it brought me farther away from God, in the sense of I wasn't loving other people. I wasn't being a kind person. And so it brought me farther away in that sense of, man, I was just, I could just flat out say it. I was a jerk, like I was not a great dude. And you kind of find out, okay, these guys are also jerks to me. So therefore, I'm going to reflect that as well.
Yeah.
And so that's where it goes into like that. You got to find people that you pour into and that pour into you. And if they're pouring negative things into you, just like always bringing you down and stuff, like that's never gonna, not never, but that's not gonna go too well. At least in my case, in my situation, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, Anybody else got anything to say?
No, it's very real.
Yeah.
That friends, people around you affect how you live your life.
Yeah.
That's why I always, whenever people are like, oh, I want to be more like Jesus, how do I do that? I'm like, spend time with him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because
Absolutely.
It's just like being around your friends, right? If you're around good friends, you're going to start acting better. If you're around bad friends, you're going to start acting worse. If you're around Jesus, you're going to start acting more like Jesus.
Yeah.
And so I think that's very, very good, because it brings that realization to our minds that it's like, man, if we're around people who aren't upbringing, right, who aren't being kind, who aren't helping us in our faith, then we're probably not going to reflect the same thing.
Yeah.
And then, or we're probably going to reflect the same thing that they are. And if we're around people who are good, then we'll be able to see that we're starting to reflect to be, like, if you're being kind to me, right, when I say something mean, then I'm probably going to start being kind to Noah when he's saying, or when he's saying something mean or whatever.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Noah,
man.
And
geez, always saying something mean.
But
just kidding. Noah's a great guy.
Dude, yeah. And so, yeah, we got to be careful of our communities. Make sure who we're around.
You do. But that doesn't take away from, pouring into those people as well, right? You can't. 100%. It's not just about, getting out of that. It's more so you got to find people that will pour into you better than those guys do.
Yep.
And those people are still people, right? God loves them. Yep. God loves them all. And so we're called to love them as well. And so being in those communities is not a bad thing, but you also gotta know, okay, where am I drawing most of my influence from? Is it from these people over here? Is it from these people over here? The guys that are giving me life or the guys that are bringing me down all the time? Where am I, putting most of my effort into paying attention to what they say about me, paying attention to what I say to them, all that stuff? Because I think about it all the time, like, man, that hockey team could have been a mission field for me to just, who knows what could have happened, right? Unfortunately, I never really took that chance. But that's another story for another time. But yeah, it's like you can spend time in those communities. You gotta watch your own heart. You gotta know the condition of your own heart and say, okay, these guys are not influencing me in a right way. I need to get out of this situation. Or hey, these guys are pouring into me. They love me. They want to have they want to know what's best for me. They want to give everything they've got to just lay their life down and just be all in for what's best for me. And like those are the guys that you wanna find. And it can be, like we said earlier, it can be a little tough to find those communities. So.
Yeah. Even looking at what Jesus did, right? He, like we said, he had his 12 disciples, the main people he hung around, and those were his. And then even in that, he had his few that were even closer than some of the 12. But he had the 12, right? He was always with them, but he still went into those places that were bad, where people were demon possessed, where it was all that stuff like that, and that's very good for us to realize, is be like, we can have our group of people, but we also got to remember that if we have that group of people, it's okay to step out once in a while and go somewhere to someone who's not a Christian and hang around them. Because most of the times, especially for when we're at our schools and stuff like that, there's a lot of people who don't know Jesus and who we're going to be around who are not Christians, and it's not that we can't be around them, but we should mainly be putting our energy into the friend groups that are building up in Christ, so that you reflect that towards the friend groups who aren't.
That lays an interesting point too. Obviously, you want to be out in the wilderness as well, right? How could they know unless they're told?
Right.
100%. What I'm going to ask you, Ben. Sorry. I just have a random question here, and Ty, you can answer this too.
Yeah.
So, how do you know when you are healthy enough to go out into the wilderness, right? So we even see Jesus who's tempted. Obviously, Jesus didn't lay into the temptation. How do we know we're at a spot healthy enough, being poured into enough to where we can go out into the wilderness and actually go to those communities and spread the gospel?
Man, that's a good question. I think here, and might not be exactly what you're looking for, but I don't think there's ever a moment in time of you can't, I think that you can always, and maybe I shouldn't say it like that. I think I'm trying to say something different than what's actually coming out, because even Jesus waited, right? He didn't go out into the wilderness until, later on in life. He didn't just get birthed and then straight into the wilderness. You know what I mean? That's not how that went. He didn't do ministry until he was 30s.
I think I think that there's like a putting your toe in the water type thing. Yeah. Where it's you don't have to all of a sudden go super deep into the woods, you know what I mean? And you don't have to be that go out and all of a sudden preach to a whole bunch of people who are doing drugs or something like that. Yeah. Right. But I think we can take little steps, right? When you're still just starting that community or starting to get into there, I think you can go out and be like, hey man, I just want to let you know, I've been talking to I've been figuring out this Jesus person or whatever, and he's really changed my life, right? Being like, hey, come to youth group with me, or hey, come to church with me. Yeah. And I think what you were saying, I like how you said that there's no specific time that you can't to do it, but I think there's a level of how deep you should go into the woods, if that makes sense.
Because, I mean, anybody can invite anybody to church.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have to be a pastor to invite somebody to church.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that, sometimes that's exactly where it starts, is it just starts with an invite to somewhere where right? Okay, this is where I learned about the hope that I have in Jesus. Right. Okay, well, I might not be able to fully teach somebody about the hope that I have in Jesus. I might not be able to fully lead them through all the struggles that they have, but that's the place where I went. That's the place where I learned.
Right.
Maybe they could learn from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's that's the importance of, you might not be ready to preach sermons on a Sunday morning or a Wednesday night, whatever it is, but you might be at the spot where you can invite your friend to, hey, come check out youth, come hang out with these people that are like-minded in Christ. Come hang out with these people that love Jesus, that want to get to know him more. And so even just inviting people into that space is a mission field in itself. And that's what I think about myself, right? I was a young Christian, right? Didn't really know much about the Bible. I didn't really know much about Jesus, but I knew that there was a hope that I had in that. But then I could have easily just said, hey, I'm going to church. You guys want to come? What's the worst I could have said? No. And so it's that's where I would say you're never really too young. You're never, and the Bible talks about that too, right? Don't look down on somebody because of their youth. But it's there's never really a spot where you're like, okay, now I'm ready to go. We're all, as Christians, we're all called to go. Yeah. Right? We're all called to go and to make disciples. And so how you make those disciples might look different from, it might look different for Ty as, a student in high school, right? And it might look different for you, who's a graduated college student, right?
Yeah.
It's going to definitely look different for me, you know what I mean? Somebody who's in a different spot of Minnesota, it might look different for somebody who's in California, I don't know, wherever. Yeah. And so it looks different for everybody. But yeah, I think everybody's really in that spot of there's something that you could do of just pouring into people, whether that's inviting or whether that's, actually just street evangelism, just hey, here's Jesus. You might be at that point, and that's, if you're at that point, great.
One thing I always say is that Jesus works bit by bit by bit. You won't see him taking you from just getting saved. Oh, now all of a sudden you're a pastor, right? Normally he doesn't take that step. But one thing that he does a lot, and I think because a lot of people say, oh, the devil works bit by bit. He works he'll start by giving you this and this and that. But I'm okay, but also Jesus does that too. He starts by saying, hey, go tell your friend about Jesus. Hey, tell him to keep coming to church. Hey, start a Bible plan with him. Or then okay, invite that friend. Okay, start a Bible study, right? And so I think that God definitely works just bit by bit in your faith, starting out by you're starting to get closer to God, right? You're starting to grow your community. So just doing this, taking little steps, and next thing you know, right, you'll be going from just telling your friend that Jesus loves him to maybe starting a Bible study, or next thing you know, becoming evangelists, right? Different things like that. So, guys, if you don't know, actually, they don't know.
I have no idea.
Guys.
That's crazy.
Guys, Ben is a professional artist. No, he's not. But he is building this thing.
I can't describe what it is, but it's a thing. You're right.
Coffee table thingies.
Yeah, do you have
coasters?
Coasters.
Coffee table things.
And he's building this art. And I don't know how to explain it, but it's really beautiful.
I'd buy it.
So how I work is I just fidget. That's whenever I'm thinking, I've always got to have something in my hands to fidget with. And so this is really helping me think through these questions.
We put it there just for you, Ben.
Yes, I appreciate
just for
that.
You.
Yeah. If do you guys have an Instagram page for this?
We don't have an Instagram page, but I am going to take a picture of this and put it on my Instagram.
Bet.
Guys, what's my Instagram?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's just Ty Castillo.
Hey, maybe
so just look it up and then you'll see it.
Maybe you should get a youth.
We need to do
Instagram.
that. I need to talk to Lily about that.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm sorry that we don't have one already.
Hey, there we go. Now one
no
might start.
better time than now.
That's a good idea.
Exactly.
Perfect.
First best time to
Right.
plant a tree was 20 years ago. Second best is right now. So same with Instagram pages, except for there was an Instagram 20 years ago. Maybe MySpace. I don't even think MySpace
I
was
had a
20 years
MySpace
ago.
account actually.
Is
Did you?
MySpace
I
even a
did.
thing anymore?
Not really. Everything's a thing now. It was on the internet. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's definitely, out there. But I
It's
don't
not
think.
big anymore
Yeah.
at all.
Well, I think the domain's gone. I checked it about a year or two ago. Sadly.
really?
But
Oh, man.
it
Maybe
used to be
that-
around. I was not very popular. I think I had like 4 or 5 different little
I
things
never,
in there.
never
but-
had MySpace, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Ben's just too young.
I am.
He is a little too
I'm
young.
so hip.
I feel like an old man here.
I'm so hip.
No, being only a year older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's that's great. Well, okay, so there's something else, right? Us guys can often deal with, right? This is another topic that we can go down, which is pride.
Mm-hmm.
Pride. I think that's right off the bat. We're all like, oh, that's tough. And this does kind of tie into community. I think that like not being prideful, kind of what we were talking about intention.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, Ben's about it. Guys, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. He's doing trying to stack another thing on top. Oh no! It fell.
Yes.
It fell. I'm
Shoot,
sorry.
It fall.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I got distracted.
Yes, my bad. I'll stop.
No, you're fine. But yeah, I think that pride can be really hard.
Yeah.
For us guys to get over and to being humble, because we always want to be better. Right? We want to be the stronger man in the room, the better looking one. You know what I mean? So, was it hard for you guys at least to overcome pride, or to even just resist being prideful?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I don't even think I still think in today I still see pride in myself in little ways,
Oh,
and that's
absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. I think a lot of times pride is looked at as this huge sort of arrogance thing that you see the jock in the little Disney movie, right?
Yeah.
That's how we kind of describe as arrogance and pride and all that. But I think for me, what I struggled with the most, that was hardest to get over, is the ability to ask for help. I think for myself,
Yeah.
I thought I could do it all on my own, right? I don't want to be a burden. And I had a lot of pride in the way that I did things, and just, how am I being perceived? What am I doing? How am I praying, right? To where other people actually think that I'm praying correctly. Crazy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's a real thing. It's a very real thing, especially in Christian communities and everything.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
for me to overcome that, I mean, that was tough. I wouldn't say it's anything necessarily that I did different in my schedule, other than I just chased God, right? I think it was letting God define who I am, and that I didn't need the look of other people to define who I was, or I don't even really define myself, right? God defines me.
Yeah.
So that actually helped me a ton. And I could talk about that for forever, just looking at the story of Joseph in Genesis. But I'm gonna hand it off to Ben here, because that could be that could be 30 minutes. I just did a sermon on that.
Dude, I think I've taken 30 minutes of this airtime. If you want to go for it.
That's how a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so I think a lot of times with schools and high school and everything, I hate to throw this word around, but I feel like we live in a cancel culture, right? A culture of you do one thing wrong and you're done, right? So really, I see these high schoolers, I see these youth students, I even see college students walking on thin ice of I'm going to do whatever makes my status go up higher.
Yeah.
I hear all the time people say they're the main characters and everything, and it's right, and it's tough to get out of that mindset once the community itself around you is kind of egging that on of yeah, you are, or you're a loser, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I lived in that for the longest time, but again, it's just spending time with Jesus. I've learned that I don't define who I am. Culture doesn't. Ben doesn't. Nobody defines who I am except for God Himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You had said, and I think it even goes to something like you said with the prayer.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the reasons. I feel like it's that fear of being, perceived in a different way. Why public speaking is the number one fear, right? Is just because, man, I don't want other people to think that, I'm not smart, or, I say something wrong and, oh man, this guy's done.
Yeah.
It's very much so. It's like you say one thing wrong and then it's like, oh, well, everything you've said is now false.
Yeah.
So that's not true. Because you could say 100 things right and then you get something wrong and it's like, oh, well, there we go. I even think about some like the athletes, right? The most famous athletes in the world. Michael Jordan, right? Even on my way down here, I was listening to something about him, and I've been listening to, or not rewatching. It's the first time I've watched it, but watching that Netflix series on like The Last Dance, which is Jordan's, all that stuff, and it's like all the things that he, all the super fixated things on his life. He could do so many things right. Could lead a team to 6 different championships, and then still everybody's like, oh, but he's got a gambling problem. It's like, but he didn't. I mean, if you watch the thing, it's like he could do so many things right. He could even go into like how he plays on a court, right? You could take however many shots. You're not gonna make every single one.
Yep.
You're not gonna always be on point every single time, 24/7, 365. But so often we put that expectation not only on other people but just ourselves as well. And that's where that fear comes from, is like, man, I'm afraid to pray in front of people because I don't want to say something wrong. It's like, well, no, that's what practice is, right? Practice, we do that ourselves too when we get alone and we pray, but there's also something about just practicing with people and just saying, all right, I'm going to pray in front of these people, I'm going to speak it out loud and say, God, would you, do this? God, would you be with us? And all that stuff. And so it's just thinking through that stuff. I'm like, man, like pride, it goes into so many aspects of life, just like Noah was saying, it's just, you can get so caught up, in your own self, and when people are egging it on and are saying, oh, you're the main character, all that stuff, that is something that I've heard a lot recently of just students just saying that to people. I'm like,
right.
Oh my gosh,
don't inflate their ego that much.
It's horrible.
But it's I mean, you really gotta die to yourself. And you gotta say, no, that's not, my life isn't the most important, right?
Yep.
What's more important is telling others about what God has done in my life, right? What He continues to do in our lives, because really that's why, I think about myself. That's where I'm at. That's why I'm at where I'm at today. Is not because of anything that I did. It's because of what God has been doing through me.
Yeah.
So, it's really just about dying to yourself and saying, all right, God, it's yours.
Yeah, and having the like opposite mindset, because people always think highly of yourself always. Think good of yourself. That's what society tells us. They say, love yourself. Make sure you are good. Make sure that your ego is up. And it's like, no, we are nothing, right? Because who are we? Like, who's going to remember our name? No, we got one name that needs to be remembered, and that's Jesus. And so I think that instead of having a mindset that we're all this and we're all that, like what you're saying, that I'm the main character, right? No, Jesus is the main character, and everything we do should be for His glory and not our own.
Yeah, you tell them.
Oh yeah.
Now that reminds me of a Bible verse, maybe the most quoted Bible verse in my opinion. For when I am weak, I am strong. We hear a lot of times, for when I'm weak, He is strong. But I look at that Bible verse, and you see kind of what Paul's saying in this, and he's saying, when I am weak, I am strong, because that's when we're putting all of our weight, leaning fully on God. Obviously, like, it's not us being strong, it's our leaning on Him, our full surrenderance on Him that makes us strong.
Yeah.
So that just reminded me of that.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And I mean, I got 2 Bible verses here that I just wanted to throw out there because I think that they're very important for us Christians to remember. And the first one is James 4:10. It says, "Humble yourselves before the Lord, and He will lift you up." This is not. I don't think this is saying that if you humble yourselves like before God, right, or you even just be humble, He's going to lift you up, right? I don't think that's what it means. It's not saying that God has to lift you up if you're humble, but I think it's something that we can have is that if God's going to use us, right, it needs to be about Him and not about ourselves, or about others and not about ourselves.
Yeah.
Because the moment that we stop thinking about it's all about ourselves is when God uses us the most. Because I look at Saul and David, right? Saul was a humble guy. Wait, am I the right guy? Saul and David? Yes. And so I think that Saul was a very humble, right, guy, and that's why God lifted him up. And then when he got to the top, then he's like, all of a sudden got super prideful and made it all about him, and God's like, nope, and He humbles him and lifts David up. Because why? Because David was humble. And so that's one example I love to bring up, because it's like that God uses the humble and those who are willing to put God before themselves.
Yeah.
And then okay, and also
That's good.
The next verse, and this one was hard. I remember reading through this verse for the first time and being like, this one's brutal, because something that we could do all the time. It's Philippians 2:3. It says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself."
Yeah.
That one, first of all, is just like,
Dude, that's a heavy hitter right there. That's
yeah.
for sure.
dude.
Yeah. You want me to talk?
Yeah,
Right?
sure. Go ahead.
I think, even Paul writing to the Philippians here, right? Philippi is just, it's a crazy place to be. At this time, it's people that are being, they're being basically persecuted, obviously, for being Christians. And if you didn't know, like, Philippi it's a town where Roman soldiers basically retired to. And so it's very, very prideful, very like, oh yeah, we're all that. We were Roman soldiers once.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we, best whatever kingdom in the world right now. Just like, have that, they've got that pride, and
Yep.
and he's, if I remember correctly in this, is like Paul's writing to them a lot about don't be in that mindset, right? And it's just you got to know exactly to where you're coming from, is like don't do anything out of selfish ambition. It's not for you, right? You gotta humble yourselves before others. And it was so easy, like we talked about earlier, being in that community of everybody's exalting themselves. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm the guy. I killed all these men, or protected Rome, or whatever. It's like, yeah, you can think that, and you can be around people like that, and it's like, but really the thing that you got to know is just humble yourself, right? Don't be in that. Don't be following those people that are around you, where it's like they're lifting themselves up, and it can be easy for you to say, all right, I'm going to lift myself up too. It's a contest. It's a competition. Who's the best soldier?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
no, humble yourselves before the Lord, and just, yeah, that's kind of what I got to say about that. But
Definitely.
Also, as you were talking about it just like that whole mindset of like the people who like peaked in high school or college, and they just always talk about it.
Yeah.
That's what I think of this town of Philippi here. I'm like, how awful would it truly be to live there?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It'd be crazy.
Dude.
Jock City.
For real.
So real. Well, we're getting close to this end of this episode, but I wanted each of you guys to go through this question. If you could say one thing to the guys who are listening who haven't gone all in for Jesus, right? Who haven't maybe even gave their life to Jesus, or haven't gone all in for Him, or struggle to follow Him, like, what would you say to them? To those people on the edge, or struggling with the relationship with God?
That there might be some radio silence here. That is a tough question. One thing that I would say, oh goodness. I mean, I guess in my mind, if I'm trying to think back to myself when I was at that state of like really struggling to go all in, and for me, man, I'm trying to think of like what I would tell myself.
Yeah.
This is a great question, Ty.
It's a tough question too.
Great question. I guess something that I would probably tell myself is, as somebody that was, I guess I'll go struggling to follow him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something about focusing on the bright spots, right? Focusing on this is what God has done in your life, and focus on that, because it can be so easy to get in your own head and be like, oh man, life is so down, life is this, whatever. But focusing on the bright spots, focusing on the things where God has been moving in your life, focusing on those things of like, hey, this is where he showed up. This is what he did. And even writing those things down, I couldn't tell you, there's probably so many things that I never wrote down of what God has done in my life, that I just, I've forgotten. And so like writing those things down and remembering those, because those are ultimately, for me, that kind of helps me even today of like, this is why I do what I do. This is why I'm on mission, because I watched this student step up in boldness and share their testimony with people that, like, I think I talked about this in El Salvador with you, Ty, right? There's a student of mine that just stepped up and shared her testimony in front of a group of high schoolers in El Salvador that didn't speak English, and it's like, that's a bright spot. That's something that I'm going to hold on to, and like, that's why I do what I do. That's why I pour into people. That's why that. And it's like, you can apply that in any place in your life of, man, I'm struggling to follow Jesus, but yet he's still faithful. I'm struggling to follow Jesus, but yet he's still there for me. Yet I can go to him. Yet I know, it's this, and this. And it's just keep focusing on those bright spots, I would say. Anyways.
That's awesome. What about you, Noah?
Yeah, that's a really tough question.
Very tough. Which means it's a good question.
You're so right. So what I would say for myself, the game changer for me, and I think I'm going to swing it back to just sort of community and relationships in the aspect of not just friends, but mentorship. So I think for me, I didn't communicate for the longest time my struggles. I wasn't really intimate in my relationships. And because of that, there was a long time where I felt like my relationship with God was stagnant. I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. And because of that, I was frustrated, right? I felt like I wasn't growing. It was... and I would put the blame back on him. And I think a lot of us do that. I think with that, it's just go all in on your relationships, make Jesus the center, go to a mentor, go to a pastor, right? And just kind of explain what's going on in your life. I think that is probably the biggest thing for me, where I just had no idea what to do, right?
Yeah.
And I would say go more in. Right? Like as much as you want to go out, go even the opposite way and just give it your all, because you will see the benefits of that. You will reap definitely the seeds
100%.
of that.
Yeah, and even just expounding on that, like, that's why we talk about community, because it's very important. I think back to young me, and I'm like, oh man, I would not be where I'm at today if I didn't have those friends. And so maybe for you listener out there, feels really weird to say that, maybe for you listener out there, it's like, go and find that one person. Just if there's one person that you can find that, oh, that's kind of, they pour into me real well, and what they're saying is true, what they're saying is helpful. It's like, go find that one person, pour into them, be intentional with them, and build community with them. And like Noah said, talk to those mentors, talk to those people that are older than you in life stages where you see yourself in 2, 3, maybe 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
And just talk with them and say, how did you get to where you're at? Just finding out as much information as possible. So
Yeah. That's awesome. Guys, those are very good things. And I'm so glad that you guys were able to come on this podcast and we were able to talk about these things.
Yeah.
Because, I want to see more of our guys get involved. And those of you listeners, those guys, go all in for Jesus, right? Find community and find those guys in your life, right? This is summary to everything we've said. Find those guys in your life that are going to help you on your walk with God. But yeah, so once again, thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast, Noah and Ben. You guys are awesome, always.
So are you.
So thank you guys for tuning in and joining with us. Remember to be led by the Word and not by the world. And we'll see you guys next time on the Youth POV podcast.